Hello folks, welcome back to the January 2025 solicitations for DC Comics. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. But before I jump right into it, I want to give a quick shout out to a fan who said and made fun of me for showing off a little bit of my tiredness, and also I'm gonna own it. Stockholm is the capital of Sweden. It definitely is not a city in Britain. I probably should have known that off the top of my head, but I apologize to all the Swedish folks out there. The first one is Aquaman #1 by Jeremy Adams. This is the brand new Aquaman ongoing run. We have been questioning where Aquaman, Arthur Curry, was ever since the Dawn of DC unfolded, and we were supposed to get something with Francis Manapul. Unfortunately, it never just really materialized, and considering that Francis is now doing creator-owned stuff with the Jeff Johns-led imprint over at Image Comics, this is now longer going to be the case for him, but Jeremy Adams is going to be joined by John Timms, who is planning to draw some pretty epic kaiju stuff, and there's nothing I would really say no to that about. So very excited for Jeremy Adams. I believe he will probably be back on this channel at some point in the future to talk about it. Next up, we got Justice League, the Atom Project #1. This is a John Ridley, Ryan Parrott collaboration. Ryan Parrott, if you guys don't know, he is on multiple Massiverse titles, most known for working with or after Kyle Higgins, and they are going to be joined by Mike Perkins, who is drawing the cover for this book as well as doing the interiors. Mike Perkins I most know from Captain America by Ed Brubaker, and most recently Swamp Thing by Ron V. So this is going to be a post JLU #3 sort of spin-off. This is going to be very interesting to see how this all envelops. This is a 6-issue series, doesn't say in the solicitation, but it is a 6-issue miniseries, and we will have to see what Captain Atom, Ryan Choi, and Ray Palmer are up to in this specific series. Next up, we got Green Lantern Fractured Spectrum. This is the brand new status quo fix for the Adams V. Ken Marion run of Green Lantern. Or I should say, for Jeremy Adams, V. Ken Marion is going to be joining him on this specific one-shot. We're going to be getting a brand new status quo in the year 2025, and this is going to be the issue to hop on if you're trying to get into Green Lantern, which is continuing from its Dawn of DC roots. Green Lantern issue #16 should be out at your comic shop, which you can go ahead and pick up. Next up, we got DC Rise of the Power Company #1. DC is continuing their DC Power one-shot fix. They've been doing this for Black History Month for the past couple of years now, and we are going to get a continuation of that sort. The one thing I'm very happy for is that Vita Ayala is back into the folds for comics. I love their writing, love their New Mutants, and we haven't seen them since Static Shock, but they got a brand new Image series that got announced not too long ago, and now we're going to be getting this one shot with them back in it. And of course, Brandon Thomas, who is doing the Black Lightning book, John Jennings and Zipporah Smith, along with Kelsey Ramsey, Charles Stewart III, and Ray Anthony Heights. So no strangers to the fold there for any of those creators. Let's go ahead and look at the Absolute Universe now, the first of which is Absolute Batman #4 by Scott Snyder, joined now by Gabriel Walta. Gabriel Hernandez Walta most recently did the Phantom Road indie miniseries, or I should say 14-issue series, 12, whatever it might be, with Jeff Lemire, which featured me. I am not kidding, guys. Read the book. You will know what I'm talking about when you read Phantom Road. But Absolute Batman is continuing on with the craziness. I can't wait to see what Walta has in store. He drew a lot of crazy stuff in that Magneto run with Cullen Bunn, so I think he's going to be an interesting fit, but I'm really happy that we get a continuation of the insanity that is this title. It is as insane and over the top, I think, as that book needs to be, which is perfect in its own right. And next up, we got Absolute Superman #3 by Jason Aaron and Rafa Sandoval. Here is the cover for issue #3. Of course, Rafa Sandoval, I have no words, man. Just blown away by all of this. And we're going to be getting to see what Jor-El and what Lara are up to for this specific issue, as well as this iteration of Krypton on this creator injected universe. So very, very happy to see Rafa Sandoval continuing on in this series. Is going to look rad, awesome, all of the above. I cannot wait for this title to push along. And last but not least, for the Absolute Universe, we got Absolute Wonder Woman by Kelly Thompson and Hayden Sherman. I really have no words. Hayden Sherman is doing 2 books, and I'll probably be saying that for the Batman Dark Pattern solicitation after. This apparently isn't the final cover. There are going to be some touches to it, but the fact that they're coloring and drawing the interiors and exteriors for this, insane. I have no words. This is going to be awesome, and I can't wait to talk about this book with Kelly Thompson this Friday. So be sure to tune in for that interview. Next up, we got the Superman office, the first of which is the Justice League issue 3, Justice League Unlimited issue number 3 by Mark Waid and Dan Mora. What an amazing cover that is. That is absolutely incredible, by Dan Mora himself. This is going to be collecting the issue that spins into the Atom Project 6-issue miniseries, and we have this terrorist group called Inferno. We're going to be seeing what is going on with that. Looks like Plastic Man and Beast Boy are going to be thrown into it. I don't doubt that Waid will use some characters that he has used in JLA. I'm going to be interviewing Mark Waid about this on Tuesday, so be sure to tune in for that. Next up, we got Superman issue number 22. Dan Mora, of course, continuing the cover streak as Superman and Superwoman battle Doomsday to the death. So we got a secret alien strike team, and you have no idea who this instructor is. We're going to have to see what is up with that in January. And spinning in from this as well is the Superman Lex Luthor special by Eddie Barrows and Eber Ferreira. Eddie Barrows and Eber Ferreira, if you want to talk about, man, I feel like comparing them to Ivan Reyes and Danny Miki or Auclair Albert or Joe Prado, the inkers who have inked Ivan, it feels kind of disingenuous, but they have earned every single right they have had to be doing interiors for DC Comics. And the fact that Lex Luthor, who is one of my favorite parts of the run just in general, I really have liked what Joshua has done with Lex. So we're going to see what's going to be going on in the events after House of Brainiac. We have his memories wiped clean. Lex needs to figure out what is going on, and this is the issue to get into it. And the nice thing, $3.99, 32 pages for those living in the US. Next up, we got Wonder Woman by Tom King. This is issue 17. This is going to continue on with their run. I doubt it's going to stop anytime soon. We now have the inclusion of the 3 Wonder Girl helmed characters. We have Donna, Yara, and Cassie showing up and guest starring in this as a brand new arc, The Battle of Wonder, begins. Next up, we got the New Gods number 2 with a pretty rad cover from Christian Ward, and I believe this is a Walt Simonson cover. So yeah, that is Walt Simonson. I think I can recognize that from almost anywhere. Mr. Miracle is going to have to figure out what is going on with Orion, and also this child that he has to save. This is one of my most anticipated DC All-In books, man. I have so many expectations for this specific creative team, and I think they're going to kill it out of the park. Kind of unfortunate that they didn't send the Nimit Malavi a cover for the specific series, but any way to get into it, I'm so down. And speaking of so down, Challengers of the Unknown, issue number 2 is out. Sean Isaacs is doing the cover now, not Mike Deodato, which is an interesting sight to see. But Sean Isaacs is going to be drawing the interiors of this book as well. 32, $3.99. Very much one of the most underrated parts of the DC Universe. Hopefully we'll be able to deliver on this title. Can't wait to see this in action. Kian Tormey and Alex Segura continue their tour along the lines with the question along the Watchtower, or all along the Watchtower, I should say. Continuing on the mystery, they're going to continue with this issue number 3, and this also ties in with the Atom Project 6-issue miniseries, so we will have to see what's going on with that. Seems like there's a lot of collaborative features going on with Renee Montoya. Alright, up next we got Action Comics 1082. This is going to continue the Superman Superstars initiative, and the Superman Superstars initiative was to originally let creators, big name creators, who have done other works to get their own action spin on Superman. No pun intended. John Ridley is now going to be taking over for Action Comics in the meantime. Inaki Miranda, the artist from Fables, that is what I know them most for, is going to be drawing the interiors of the title, with Gleb Melnikov as the artist for the cover. And they're probably going to be doing this for 3 issues, and then we will see a new team rotate after that. I have no idea how long Superstars is going to last. I'm very interested to see how long they decide to keep along with this, so 1082 rests there. Titans number 19, John Layman and Serge Acuna. This is now time for the Serge Acuna take in from Batgirls. So Pete Woods is off of the interiors of this title, but we still do have a cover with her and the rest of the team from them. The next up, we got a very, very interesting Killer Frost inclusion. Something I actually don't mind. I got to talk to Layman, and he said that there were going to be some interesting surprises for the team. Very, very excited and interested to see how he goes on with that. He's been doing a great job, and I cannot wait to get into this issue. Really glad that Titans is having a nice spin and fun on things. Next up, we got Black Canary, Best of the Best, the Ryan Sook book, and what an amazing cover, once again, from Ryan Sook. Tom King is continuing on with the 6-issue miniseries, and Lady Shiva is going to be included in this. She's also included in another specific series, but for Black Canary, she is here, and she is going to kick some butt. Also going to kick in with the Dark Knight as well. Next up, we got Black Lightning number 3 by Brandon Thomas and Fika Osio, continuing on with the 6-issue miniseries, and this time, Volcana and the New Sisters of Disaster, the Masters of Disaster, I should say, are going to wreak havoc on Steelworks. Unfortunately, for them, they have the rest of the crew to take on with them. Let's go ahead and see what they're going to do with Inessa Pierce. That is very, very interesting to see what they're going to be doing as far as Thunder is concerned. Speaking of the Thunder, JSA is going to continue along with that Thunder, as Jeff Lemire and Diego Alartegui are going to continue on with their revamp of the modern team. After sacrificing the reincarnation, well, Hawkman needs to figure out what's going to happen. If this is another place for epic Hawkman lore, like in Ostrander and Johns, sign me up for it. Venditti too. So I hope Lemire gets to get his say not only on Carter or Qatar or whatever he decides to do with Hawkman. I hope the case is that we get to see some pretty cool stuff from him, and that he will end up in that upper tier echelon of he doesn't make my head break when I read Hawkman. Speaking of Hawkman, this has nothing to do with him, but we do have the issue solicitation to Green Lantern number 19. Fernando Pasarin is back on the book, and Auclair Albert is going to be inking him. Pasarin, not a stranger at all to Green Lantern. In fact, he did GLC with Tomasi back in the New 52. So the Fractal Lanterns are going to wreak havoc amongst the universe. They're going to have some interesting stuff here. Here are the covers specifically for GL19. Next up, we got Green Arrow number 20. If you guys haven't had a chance to check it out yet, please check out the interview I did with Chris Condon. He's just as excited for this series as you and I are. Finally, seems like the Emerald Archer of Star City is going to have an amazing book with an amazing narrative, and I can't wait to see what they got going on here. Next up, we got Flash number 17. Cy Spurrier is rocking the hardwood with Wally, as Wally is now in 2 separate parts of the DC Universe. Now in the JLU, now no longer in Titans. Speedster. Skatars. I need to catch up on this book. I need to get the Flash family vacation on and see what they do specifically with that. Metamorpho the Element Man by Al Ewing and Steve Lieber. Gonna be the weirdest book of 2025, but I'm all in for it. Al Ewing is just a master at getting me to be involved in the. I love Metamorpho, so I cannot wait to see what he's got going on there. And Element Gal and Sapphire also in the spotlight for this. So yeah, what's up with Simon Stagg? We will get answers to this in Metamorpho the Element Man number 2. Shazam issue 19 sees the return of Mr. Mind, the weirdest caterpillar. I'm going to choose my words carefully. So, very, very interested to see what the Mr. Mind is going to get on with the rest of the Shazamily. I think that's how we word it. Dan McDade is going to stay on the title, seems long term. So, very excited to see where Emmanuel Pequeno is going to be after this title shifts. So, there is that. We got a new Power Girl costume. You know what I will say for the new Power Girl costume? I like that the window is shaped specifically like the S. I love the gloves. The boots are great. That is just my opinion. Let me know in the comments section what you think about the new Daily Star building and also the brand new renovation on her suit. I'm really liking that Steel Natasha Irons is also included in this. I love her. I love her character. I can't wait to see what this book's got going on for them, and hopefully she can show up in this and a lot of other titles too. Batman Superman World's Finest by Mark Waid and Adrian Gutierrez is going to continue, and this time we got Aquaman now joining the fold in this Mark Waid levels of expectation. Yes, that is a nice Chris Hunk cover. So Aquaman is going to be part now of this ongoing series. Let's talk about the Batman books now. The first of which is Batman 156. Chip Zdarsky and Tony S. Daniel on the penultimate issue of Chip Zdarsky's Batman run. I actually can't wait to see what... Oh man, this is, you know what? This is a cover homage to The Dark Knight. I actually just realized. Maybe it's something else, but that looks exactly like the Dark Knight poster to me. So I know that this issue got delayed and pushed back to the 2nd, I believe, to 25th of February or something of that sort. I talked about that in my latest comic releases video, which you guys should check out at some point. But this is the penultimate issue to the Dying City of Chip Zdarsky's Batman run. Next up is Tom Taylor and McCullough Yanin's Detective Comics. And Asema, which is Steel and Hearts. If we didn't hear that before. I have no doubt that this is going to look great. I am very interested to see what Tom Taylor has cooked up for the world's greatest detective and what they're doing in this specific run. Next, we got Batgirl number 3. Man, that is a pretty great Takara cover, I will say. And of course, David Talaski, no stranger to drawing covers as well. And the train ride out of Gotham is a lot more difficult than Cass and Shiva could ever expect. But yes, I can't wait to see what is going on with Cass. Really, really glad that she has her book, and I can't wait for the first issue of this to drop. And this issue, actually, issue 69 of Catwoman, ended up being a sneak favorite of mine from that Picks of the Weeks. Maybe I should bring those things back. But we got issue 72 of Catwoman as Selina is making her way through Sweden. I got the gig. I got the memo. I'm really happy that I finally got it. So, 72, got Frank Cho covers. And this time, it will be a pain for Selina in the city of Stockholm. And this time with Harley Quinn. And this time, Clayface is joining her on this crazy, wacky trip with Elliot Kalan and Mindy Lee's brand new take on the character. So, happy for all the Harley fans out there who are going to be buying this book. Poison Ivy issue number 29 by G. Willow Wilson and Marcio Takara. And you know, I can't ever say no to a Jenny Frison cover, but this time she is in Washington to identify the Order of the Green Knight's weird and mysterious leader. And I cannot wait to see. This has been, again, I've said this again and again, one of the best books that have come out from DC in most recent memory. So very happy for this as well. Nightwing 122. If you guys haven't had a chance to check out my interview with Dan Waters, I urge you to, because this run, from what we've talked about, is exactly everything that I've wanted for this character. Great characterization for issue 119. This is pretty much the Nightwing that I think I envisioned when I got in and said we got to get a transformative run, and this is looking like it's going to be. I can't wait to see what Dexter Swoy's got up in, and again, Dan Waters has me. He's a really, really good underrated writer, in my opinion. Speaking of underrated writers, I don't think she's underrated anymore. I think she's very properly and rightfully so rated. But Kelly Thompson's take on the Birds of Prey continues. And who knows who and what will happen to Cassandra Cain. I'm actually interested to see if this is going to have ramifications on the Batgirl book and how much that ties in, because it seems like there is some overlap and overlay on there. So we will have to see what's going on with that. Two-Face by Christian Ward, another sneak issue 5-issue mini series that they, pushed in for the all-in series. It's kind of unfortunate that Christian Ward isn't trying the covers for this book, but we have Harvey Dent trying to figure out what's happening on with the Royal Flush Gang and the Queen of Hearts. So let's see what this trial has going on. Christian Ward is he's a really good writer. I was actually surprised to see that he had some really interesting thing going on there, but he is a very talented writer in and of himself. And speaking of Dan Waters, Hayden Sherman, man, I have no idea how they do it, but they just continue to astound me at doing 2 books at once. I know that the comparison is going to be Morrow level, but Morrow doesn't color himself on every single book. Hayden Sherman colors themselves on the books that they do. Insane. I can't even think about the amount of hours you have to spend for this book and to do for all 12 issues. Dan will definitely be back on the channel at some point to talk about this. I can't wait for the series to drop either. And Javi Fernandez is going to be back on Batman and Robin. And Scarecrow is now in the fold, so we have a little bit of a spoiler there. Batman's got to fight his way, and Robin has to go save him. And last but not least, we got Mark Waid and Chris Samnee's absolutely spectacular Batman and Robin Year 1. You want to talk about how to kick off a Year 1, and maybe Mark Waid is just akin to doing that because he just knows so much about these characters, and Chris Samnee is elevating himself with every single detail of inks and finishes that he's doing with this book. But man, you want to talk about an issue 1, this is the way to do it. You gotta read it, guys. I kid you not. I cannot wait to see what they've got going on there. And if you want documentation for all of this, along with a specialized watch list for yourself and also for all of the big, thick books that are coming out from not only DC, but from Marvel, Image, and every single other company, check out comicreleases.com, your one-stop shop for every single up-to-date release date for all of your comic book collected editions, along with documentation for every single company's solicitations. And if you haven't yet, join our Patreon for just $2 a month. It helps me out. You also get your own watch list. And that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really do appreciate you taking the time out to check out these solicits. But if you haven't gotten a chance to yet, please go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you know every single time I upload one of these of solicitations. And check out comicreleases.com if you haven't yet. Thank you guys so much. Have a Dom-tastic day. You be you. Take care. Sub to Dom and dominate the day wherever you are.